Hey guys, Dr. Hyder here, the Third Eye Doctor. Thanks for tuning in today. It's Monday morning, it's cold, it's slightly damp, but as you know, we eat Monday mornings for breakfast, and this is the weekly Monday morning motivational video. Now, this is a lesson that I learned from the awesome healthcare leader, Dr. Lorraine Dickey, and she talked about the concept of perspective is reality. So whatever perspective you have in your life governs your reality. And if your reality is not as ideal as you'd like it to be, that's related to your perspective. And as you know, your perspective is governed by your perceptions. So these are the sensory perceptions, which we all have. Then you've got your psychological perceptions, and then you've got your spiritual perceptions as well, which is your connection with other living beings. So what is your perception today? Is it positive or negative? And how is that governing your perspective? And how is that governing your reality? So if your Monday morning is not so great, change your perspective. And how do you change your perspective? By changing your perception. And how do you change your perception? Well, you've got those three things: the sensory, the psychological, and the spiritual. And you can always pick something in your life which will change your sensory perception, which will change your psychological perception, and which will change your spiritual perception, which will change your perspective and ultimately change your reality for the better. When I was in Iraq doing my job as a charity worker many years ago, I was in my ideal job, so to speak, because this was my dream for... Am I actually sweating? That was my ideal job, because I worked my whole life to work as an eye surgeon in Iraq. And yet, when I was there doing the work, I wasn't happy inside. And I was trapped, so to speak. And I couldn't get out of it. And that was my reality. And it took a life coach to change my perspective through changing my psychological perception. He also got me to do a bit more change in my sensory perception, which was doing more exercise. And then that changed my perspective, and ultimately it changed my reality. So if you're going through a tough time right now, or something that's not really clicking for you, or you don't feel very motivated, think about what you can change sensory wise, whether it's a physical sense, psychological sense, or a spiritual sense, which will change your perspective and which will change your reality. Let me know what you're doing today to make some changes and change your reality for a better, with the comments down below. And if you missed last week's Surgical Spirit podcast, tune in. I'll leave a link sometime this week. We had Dr. Sahel talking about some interesting stuff about white supremacy, about lazy stereotyping in healthcare, ethnic issues and religious issues as well, all very interesting, which is a different perspective in his reality. Hope that helps. Leave your comments down below, and until next time, let's keep our third eyes open. Bye bye guys.